Okay, welcome to this next online lecture on to Introduction to Surah Kafiroon. So, just to give you a bit of context, Surah Kafiroon is the last surah of the four goals concepts. So, we already covered three of four of them: Surah Ikhlas, then there's Surah Falaq, and then Surah An-Nas. So, Surah Kafiroon is going to be the last one. It is 6 verses in length, so it's a fairly good surah to memorize. It's almost the same length as the other goals. It is a bit complex. There's many rules of pronunciation and recitation, but it is very important for you not to panic at all, because the best thing to do in this case is to kind of break down this surah and try to see if you can work at the different parts of the translation or the transliteration in parts. So look for patterns. Repetitive phrases would always help you remember how to recite it, and understand key concepts with pronunciation. This is very important. And as we mentioned before, some of this deals with, let's say, for example, let me just get a different pen color. You have, for example, a GH sound, and we know that this makes the R sound, right? As in the letter Ghain, like this is the capital letter Ghain. And then you have KH. So KH would make the Kh sound, right? Again, using your throat. So this again makes the Kha sound, so the Kha. Okay? So now to get to it, I'm going to start with verse 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm only going to show the verse actually in English transliteration first. And then I'm going to write down, I'm going to have each of the notes up just to analyze it. Okay, so before we begin, start with A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. Okay, I'm gonna say that slowly. I'm gonna break up each of the words here. Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. Okay, so again, the ending is an N as in Nancy. So, couple things to note here. First of all, we see the strong Q sound. Let me get my pen out so I can show you. We see the really strong Q sound, or maybe red is not a good color to use. Really strong Q sound over here. So that's what we have to keep in mind there. It's not kul, it's kul, okay? We also see 3 A's, so you know the drill with 3 A's. It is repetition of vowels. So you see 1A, 2A, and 3A. And remember the rule I told you that when you stretch out the vowels, you want to put 3 fingers up when you do that. So for example, Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. Alright? The third rule is ayyu. So notice how I said ayyu. It's not like I'm saying ayyu, like adding a Z or sh there. It's just the part, the strength and emphasis that you put on it. So really you're saying ayyu, right? So ayyu as in saying, let's say you're saying ay, okay? As an ay when you're really frustrated or something. You say that and then you add a u at the end over there, alright? So the next thing to note is hal. Okay, so you're almost like, it's almost like saying Hulk, but you're omitting the K. You're not saying the K at all. So over here, hal. Okay, that's why you have to say it. So qul ya ayyuhal. Okay. Next note is kafir. Okay, kafir. Again, this is a term for unbelievers. You have 2 A's over here because of the stretched vowels, because there is a symbol here, which when we get into our second part of the journey, we'll talk about, clarify all the stretching of vowels. Alright, so just remember, the way we say it is, Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun. Okay, and noon is a really simple word to say. You just say it exactly how it's spelled. Okay, so now when we get onto the second verse. La a'budu ma ta'budun. Okay, let me break that up slowly. La a'budu ma ta'budun. Okay, so some things to note here. First thing is you see 2 boo words, okay? So again, we're looking for patterns, looking for repetition. You see the first boo over here, and you see another boo over here. And you see a lot of double O vowels, so budu and budun, alright? So, and this, again, this is a very nice pattern here. If I get my pen out, you can see You see a budun, budu, and then after that you're just adding an N in the end. That's the only difference after that there. So that's just that's just something to help you remember that, okay? The next thing is remember the A apostrophe and the TA apostrophe. So we have to think about the sound that both of them makes, okay? So I mentioned to you earlier that anything A vowel with that apostrophe will indicate an ein, will indicate this letter here. Okay, a letter ayin over here, capital. So the way we say this is, so start with la a. Okay, so you don't say la a budu. Okay, la a budu. It's kind of like you're interrupting the a vowel. So I have the a vowel here, and then this apostrophe will interrupt it. Okay, so like stop saying that. And the same thing with for ta apostrophe. So it's ta. Okay. So la a'budu ma ta'budun. All right. Now we see many double O sounds, like I said before. Now we're going to get on to the third verse. So wala antum a'abiduna ma a'bud. Okay, so let's make some notes here. This is a very complex verse over here, so let's see if we can break it down. So first of all, we have the introduction of wa. So we see wa over here. We've seen wa many times in other surahs, so that should help us remember. And then we see another la, okay? So we're starting to see a bit of a pattern with that there. We know it's being repetitive here. Its repetitive nature tends to have 3 A's because there is a symbol here called the madda, and the madda looks like this. It looks something like that. That's the Arabic symbol there, and that stretches out the vowels. Then we see, if we look the next, we see U-N-N, okay? We see so you don't want to say un, okay? It is not this at all. We are not saying un. What we're doing is we're kind of blending the two N's together with the U. We're kind of connecting it, so it's hard to say that we're saying that they're actually pronouncing the consonant N. So we're saying okay? It's very nasal. It's a very nasal kind of sound. You're using your throat. You're kind of using your throat and like putting your tongue on the roof of your mouth, something like that, and saying okay? So wala antum, okay? The tum, so the reason why I put 2 U's is you and I both know that with 1 U it's going to be tum, right? So with 2 U's it's going to be not tum or not T-double-O-M as in tum, it's going to be tum, okay? So with the T sound you have to touch your tongue with your teeth and say tum, okay? Tum, not tum or tum. So there's a difference between saying tum and tum, okay? So again, wala antum, okay? Now we see different positions of the apostrophe. So now over here we see the apostrophe before the vowel, and then we see the apostrophe after the vowel. So we think that there is a much different sound for both of them when we talk about both of them. So looking over here, if you see the apostrophe before the vowel, that means that the interruption is before the vowel begins. So I'm going to tell you how it sounds. So it's okay? It's And then over here, if it's a apostrophe here, down here, it's going to be okay? So again, listen to how I'm kind of interrupting the A. So the interruption comes after the A vowel. So all right? But for here, for the apostrophe A, it's going to be okay? So you can kind of hear that hesitation in the beginning before I say A. So that's how you say, okay? Use your throat. And B, we see a pattern. We see a lot of words here. So we have 1 B here, and then we have, I think that's only B. But in general, we're seeing this almost in every verse now. So that should help us there. This next verse, let's see how that is. So wala ana abidum ma abattum. Okay, let me slow that down a bit for you. Wala ana okay, abidum ma abattum. Okay, let's make some notes here. So we see wala, that should be familiar. Again, there's a bit of a pattern going with the wa again. And then next we see we see this sound, we see this little word over here with the apostrophe. So again, the sound that it makes is ra, okay? It's not ah, it's ra. So listen again, listening to that hesitation before you sound out the vowel. The next thing is do and be. So again, we see be again, we see do, doom, well, doom and be. In the beginning, it was D-O-O-N as in Nancy, but now it's D-O-O-M, all right, with the ma there. The next thing we see here is so again, U-N-N does not sound as an un. It's only the sound as an okay? It's the nasal kind of sound. So just remember that. That's a very important concept. It's easy to get tricked up by that, okay? So we're muffling up the N sound there. And then abattum, you may have to say this a bit fast. So it's essentially what you're doing is you're connecting. Notice how you see but is connected with tum. Now but is an English word here, you see, and it's said exactly the way it is. So but tum, okay? But you're connecting the T here with the T of this tum, all right? So the way I'd say it is this. Rabattum, okay? I kind of stuttered there, but let me say this verse one more time. Wala ana habidum rabattum. Okay? Next verse. Now this verse is, let's say this verse. Wala antum habiduna ma a'bud. Okay? A'bud. Actually, it should be a'bud. Let me say this one more time slowly. Wala antum habiduna ma a'bud. Okay? So a couple things to know here. We see wala, again, we see it's a repetitive pattern. Then we see what the sound of UNN. That's a bit of a test for yourself. You know it makes it makes the sound, right? The nasal kind of sound. And it's the same concept for, wait a minute. Oh, sorry, yes, I skipped one thing here. So what about tum? So tum makes a tum sound, right? And then we see do, and be. So again, don't say do. Try to use your tongue and touch your teeth and say do, okay? There's a difference between saying do and do, okay? So try to say do, abiduna. Then we see bud. Okay, we see a bit of a pattern. We're seeing bud a lot. So wala ana abidum ma abattum, and then abud. So this is the same concept actually. Bud, saying bud is the same thing as you're saying tum. Okay, it's very similar to saying tum because you have two u's to say to make the o sound, and bud is also making the o sound. Okay, so it's bud tum. So that's for verse. Let me just repeat verse 5 again. Wala antum abiduna ma a'bud. All right. So the last verse is Lakum dinukum waliyadin. Let me say that slowly. Lakum dinukum waliyadin. All right, let's make some notes over here. So we see no wala again. So wala is kind of cut off here. We see kum. So kum is the same concept for tum and bud. Okay, so K-W-M will make a O sound. Remember that. The next thing is another D. So we see two D's actually here. D, and then you have deen. Okay, deen. And then we see waliya. So waliya, again, this is going back to familiar verses. This is the same sound as in wali walidayya in the closing supplication, okay? Instead of waliwa, you're saying waliya, okay? So waliyadeen. So just remember that. And the last thing is deen, okay? So again, you're using your tongue to touch your teeth when you're saying the D, okay? That's most of the time you're going to be saying that. So let me say this again. So you say deen is that exactly how it's spelled. So lakum dinukum waliyadeen. All right? Okay, so that is the conclusion of this lecture. So next class we will be reviewing Surah Kafirun as well as an overview of all the components of prayer in preparation for your upcoming final test. So thank you for your attention.